This lady did brujeria on her man so that he could stay with her, and it kind of backfired. So this...
For real, Rosie?
Why are you doing this? I've asked you numerous times to stop.
Because you feel for your safety, right?
Because I want you to stop.
Now you're setting me up, right?
No,
This lady did brujeria on her man so that he could stay with her, and it kind of backfired. So this girl's telling us this story. She basically said that she had been with her man for a while, and she started noticing that he had become more distant, that he talked to her less, and she felt like he would have left her if it wasn't for the fact that she was pregnant. She said that she knew that he just didn't love her anymore, and that he would probably never tell her or leave her because, you know, they were about to have a baby together, and for her, that felt like even worse than him leaving her, staying and knowing that he didn't love her. So in return, she started treating him the same way. She said that she would be so rude to him, and she knew she was being rude, and she knew that that wasn't gonna resolve anything, and that every time she would treat him like shit, he would do nothing about it. He would actually tell her that he doesn't want to argue with her because he doesn't want the baby in her belly to hear. So basically, he was putting up with everything that she was doing to him until one night. He finally talked back to her. She said that that night she called him a coward for not telling her how he felt, for not telling her that he didn't love her anymore. And she knows that she pushed him to his limit. He basically told her everything she already knew, that he didn't love her, that he was sorry, but that she shouldn't need to worry because he was gonna stay there and take care of her and the baby. And basically she snapped. She started cursing him out, telling him things that she had never told him before, and basically it just got really bad. She said that in that moment she felt so much rage that she decided to finally follow her friend's guidance and do something that she's telling us to never do. Never listen to your friend if she suggests this. She said that she had a friend who she had known since they were in elementary school. She's not gonna give us the name. But she said that at that time, her friend was very much into brujeria or witchcraft. She said that her friend was still learning, and when she heard about what was happening with her and her man, she said that she could help her. Her friend told her that she can bring all the love back, the love that they had from the beginning, and that she can make it happen, but that she had to do something for her. She said that they had to ask the dead being that her friend was working with for this favor in order for this to work. She then proceeds to tell Uriel, the person that does the podcast, the step-by-step ritual they had to do to ask this favor, and told them it was up to him if he wanted to share it to his audience or not. But she was only sharing that because she wanted him to know that this shit is real. Obviously, he did not share that with us, thankfully, because I probably wouldn't have shared it with you either. So she said that they followed the ritual step by step, and as a matter of fact, her, pregnant and all, went to the cemetery, and basically the guy that works at the cemetery knows that people go there to do things and lets them in. So middle of the night, her and her pregnant belly with her friend go to the cemetery and do this ritual. She tells us that what she witnessed that night was probably the scariest thing she's ever witnessed in her life, but she was that desperate that she was gonna do anything she needed to do. She said that after that, her husband started hanging out with her a lot, talking to her, being that same lovey person that he was. And as a matter of fact, he would almost call into work half the time just because he wanted to spend so much time with her. She finally had the baby, and she said that she was so happy because the baby was healthy, there was no issues. But she also noticed that her husband was turning into something different. She says that now he's always quiet. He doesn't talk to his family. He doesn't talk to his friends. He sits there quietly, almost like if he isn't there anymore. She said that a couple of times in the middle of the night, she wakes up because she hears his voice. She says that she wakes up and it almost feels like he's talking to someone, but when she wakes up, he stops. But then there was a time where she woke up and she was pretending to be asleep. She slowly opened her eyes and she could see how he was sitting on the edge of the bed, talking to somebody in the corner of the room. That alone, I would have been terrified. So obviously after, waking up, hearing him talking to someone, she goes back to her friend, and her friend confesses to her that this is the first time that she had ever tried something like this. She says that her friend did something wrong, and that ritual wasn't even the first thing that she had done wrong. Her friend admitted to her that every dead being that they had asked for this favor had started to showing up at her friend's house, except for one. I think we know where this is going. She basically admits to her friend that the one being that's not showing up is because it is at her house, because now he is the quote-unquote owner of her man. She admits that every day that goes by, she can notice a little bit more and more of this being, and a lot more of her man just like not being him again. Basically, her friend who suggested this can do nothing about it. So at this point, she's stuck with someone who has an attachment because of what she did. And at this point, she said that she has been praying to God to like help him, even if that means that he has to leave her because he doesn't love her anymore. However, nothing has worked since. So she's telling us that she had left the room to write the story to submit to Uriel, and as she's writing us this story, she can hear him in the other room talking, except for this time she's finally starting to hear something talking back to him. And that's the ending. There's no ending, basically. I mean, I think a lesson learned, like, ironic that now she wishes he would come back just to leave her when she could have done that in the beginning. I don't know. I would be so scared to mess with witchcraft. I know there's things that are like positive and, you know, but there has to also be negative things. I would never do that just because you never know what might come back to you. When in her case, she still hasn't fixed it. Like, something is wrong. What if he turns violent? What if something, you know, worse happens? It's crazy. What do you guys think? By the way, guys, as you know, I translated from the Relatos de la Noche. If you want to know what episode, I'm putting it up here, and obviously listen to it in Spanish because it's so much better. And Uriel is an amazing narrator.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. So happy Creepy Sunday. This is episode 3. So since in this channel we talk about relationships quite a bit, I want to talk about love spells gone wrong, because sometimes the relationship that we talk about can be as fatal as a love spell that could possibly have gone wrong.
Do not ever do what I got mad at someone and I was like, I'm gonna get you back. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a binding spell on you as a form of revenge. I'm like, why would you do that? What made me think? Why would you think that binding someone to you, literally attaching them to you for potentially the rest of their life, is the go-to move when you're mad at them? Anyways, so I tried to do it. Every time I picked up a candle to try to tie the string around it, because you know most binding spells you tie 2 candles together with a string, the candles would break. They just break in half. And then finally, when I did get them tied, turns out the string that I bought to do it wasn't the right material. It wouldn't burn the whole time, whole hour and a half that I'm sitting there trying to do this thing. I'm just like trying to feed the flames because it didn't want to burn. I was so stubborn that I kept pushing through and I finished it. And I walk into a room one day and they're just magically there. It was ridiculous. And I kind of reversed it. I did a reversal for it because I realized that it was dumb. But multiple things tried to tell me to stop, and I didn't listen. So learn from my mistake. Don't do that. Yeah.
I want another love spell story because I'm on a roll today. Somebody just submitted this one to me, and this one is good. I can't believe you guys are this unhinged. Let's get into the story time. This one is T. We're gonna call this guy Andre. Andre was the one who submitted this story to me, and Andre's Jamaican. So Andre was in a relationship with this girl, and they had a very tumultuous relationship. That means for whatever reason, the relationship was always toxic. It seemed like they were always getting together and breaking up, getting together and breaking up. Until one day, Andre was like, I really cannot take this no more. I really want out of this relationship. I want nothing to do with this. He said that a couple months went by, and one day he just felt the urge to just get back together with the girl, so he did. He said that he would later find out that this girl was into some dark shit. Unbeknownst to him, this girl had other plans. She was tired of the back and forth. So after they got back together, Andre said that they always had like a super close best friend relationship where they could tell each other anything. So one day, as a joke, she winds up saying something along the lines of, you know, for a second there, I was scared. I didn't think my stuff was working. I didn't think it worked. I didn't think I was gonna get you back. So then Andre asked her, like, what do you mean by that? And she said, as a joke, what if I did Obia on you and that's why you're here? As a joke, though. They both laughed about it and moved on. He also mentioned that upon them getting back together, she was really, really pushy in terms of sex. box. He said that he was never the type of dude to run a red light, okay? But one day, during that time of the month for his girl, she really wanted to do it. And she convinced him, and they did it. Keep in mind that this girl had already met Andre's parents, and Andre mentioned that his mother never liked his girlfriend. But you know, Jamaican parents are hard to please. One day, the mom came up to him and said, "Son, I had a dream. Like, I really don't like that girl, you know? I had a dream that your grandmother came to me and told me that she was working Obia on you. Do what you want with that information, but I don't think you should stay with her." Andre is a spiritual dude. Andre's a spiritual dude, but he's like, Obia? I don't know. So he decides to go home, and he sat his girlfriend down and started by saying, "I know what you've been doing to me," just to see if she would say anything. He said that my mother came up to me and said that she had a dream, and went on to tell her what the mother's dream was. And he said, "Well, does that sound familiar?" And homegirl would say, "Okay, so now here's the tea." She said during one of their back and forth, she said that, well, she read somewhere that blood is a very powerful ingredient to binding. And mirrors are also very powerful magic tools. So she thought, why don't I just combine both? She said that one day, she missed him so much that she wrote his name in blood in the mirror, and she stood in front of it and summoned him. She was also saying affirmation like, "You're obsessed with me, you want me, you love me, you can't leave me alone." She said she didn't think it would work because she had only did it once, and it took him a while to get to her, to get back together with her. And she also brought up that time that they did it while she was on her. He said he was utterly disgusted that she would even do something like that. He said he left. He said he did a cleanse on one of the beaches. He wore all white and then walked into the water, dunked his head to try to cleanse himself and get rid of her energy or her spirit around. Well, he successfully stayed away from her. But she, on the other hand, cannot leave that man alone. He says that this girl is literally obsessed with him, like showing up to his house, obsessed with him, get cussed out by his family, and still comes back because she wants the man that bad. She told him that if he doesn't get back together with her, that she will unalive herself. And she attempted. Her family found her, took her to the hospital. And when she came back home from the hospital, guess who was the first person she went to go see? Andre. And Andre says that it's gotten to the point where she done fought his mama. It's gotten to the point where she done fought his mama, his sister, his cousin. She done got jumped. And that girl don't care. She want that man. He says that she doesn't present as a physical threat to him, but he's definitely afraid for the ladies around him because she has also showed up to his dates, sat on top of his car, and refused to get off the car because he was with another woman. And now he's thinking about moving because he cannot get rid of her. And the craziest thing is he didn't do nothing. She was trying to get him to be obsessed with her, but some way, somehow, I never heard this before, but a Uno reverse happened and she winded up being the obsessed one. Golly, that was a good one. Thank you, Andre. I really do wish you the best. If you guys wish to submit your stories, be sure to submit them at submitalienstories@gmail.com. And if they're really interesting, then I'll tell them. I have so many more story times available on my YouTube channel, so make sure you guys go on over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you scroll up to the top of my TikTok page, you see where it says Instagram. If you click on that, both my Instagram link and YouTube link will pop up. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and go follow me on Instagram since they are banning this app September 9th, 2024. Thank you, abducted aliens. Please, guys, do better.
I have to confess a sin. It's been eating me up inside for almost 2 decades. So in middle school, I was obsessed with this boy. We'll call him Jake. And when I say obsessed, I mean obsessed. Like I stalked him in school, I stalked him outside of school. I used to print out pictures of him and post them in a journal and write poetry about him. Don't judge me, I was a preteen and I'm also a Scorpio and Latina. Anyways, one day I'm snooping around my parents' house and I stumble across some literature. And by literature, I mean a sock. And there's a love spell in it. Now you see where this is going. So I'm frantically looking to complete this spell. But I'm 12 and have no resources, so it takes me a month. I'm stealing shit from farmers markets. I'm stealing shit from Rite Aid. I'm stealing shit from my parents. I stole some shit from him. I'm not proud of it. It had to be done. And I'll never forget, the last step was burying it in the direction of their home, So I go to my front yard and I bury it and I put like a little trinket on top so I can remember where it is. That's important for later. Anywho, shit fucking worked. He's obsessed with me buying me flowers, writing me poetry. He even bought me like a 6-foot unicorn plushie and brought it to my house. We're in middle school. Like, how is that possible? Witchcraft. Anywho, it lasts like a couple months and then I get over it, obviously, and I go on with my life. He does not. Mind you, I'm also harboring this guilt. Like, I'm no monster. Just because I don't like him anymore doesn't mean I just discard him. So whatever, we're in high school now. I have a boyfriend, he has a girlfriend. His girlfriend fucking hated me and bullied the shit out of me, by the way. But I extended her grace because I knew it was because her man wanted me. And that's not her fault. That's not even his fault. Anyways, the bullying got to a point where I was like, this is too much. Like, she would write evil notes and like put them in my locker or put them on my music stand in marching band. Like, I was like, I don't know what to do. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna dig this shit up and get rid of it. Right? Spell God. So I go to where it is and I find the little thing I put on top that's like embedded in the fucking earth now because it's been so long. I dig and I dig and I dig and I dig and I dig. I can't find it. I'm not going to tell you what exactly it was that I was looking for because I don't want any of you guys doing it. But it was metal, so it's not like it like deteriorated. But the shit like deteriorated or something because it wasn't there. I literally dug for a couple of days. Down, out, in, that shit was on. Nothing I could do. So I go through high school getting tortured by this bitch and feeling bad for this guy. And I ran out of time, so part 2.
This is how a love spell can backfire. Let's say I see this cat somewhere. I want this cat. I want this cat in my house. I want to keep this cat because I love this cat is so adorable and I really want to keep this cat. I can trap this cat. I can build a relationship with this cat. I can call it. I can coax it with good food. I can trap it. I can put it in my home, keep it in my home over time. Eventually it'll become my cat, right? It can choose to be my cat. I also find this cat to be adorable. I can try to keep this cat in my home. If I trap this cat and I bring it into my house, I can lock it in a bedroom. What do you think this cat is going to do in that bedroom? This cat is going to fuck shit up because it doesn't want to be there. It may not be able to get out, but it's going to fuck shit up while it's in there. Now, you can do what you want. I just think it makes for a far more peaceful life to keep something that actually wants to be there. You can put up baby gates. You can put up whatever else to keep a cat in there. But I mean, ultimately, it really is the cat's choice if you think about it. Andy, why are you comparing men to cats? They compare us to worse. They'll be all right.
So, in my opinion, since we're talking about relationships, I believe, in my opinion, that Krishan Rock and Blueface are battling a love spell gone wrong. And in my opinion, I believe Krishan Rock put a love spell on Blueface and even went as far as burning candles. Now, we've never seen this before, but we have seen in one of her online episode on the Blue House, whenever he had the girls in the house. I did saw a video of Krishan putting her menstrual blood on the wall, writing Blueface's name and put like a love heart and all that stuff and saying till death do us part, some crazy message that she wrote. So that is already, because it's all about your mind and your intentions. And also, I can tell you, like I said, for someone who knows about love spells, I would not recommend anyone wasting their resources on a love spell for someone else, because at the end of the day, it is a waste and it can be very dangerous. I'm going to share some of the stories and then I'll come back and tell you a little bit more about that. But trust me, guys, it's never worth it. It's never that serious to, try to get someone to fall in love with you. I mean, so many billions of people in this world. Trust me, you'll find someone. You do not need a love spell to find someone to be with you. Okay? Because that stuff can be real dangerous and it can backfire real bad. Real bad. So anyways, guys, I'll see you at the end of the video. Okay?